Antin wa ni Abidru Sanso and Ivan Yamiadum Wabeka Yensa Adaji Eni Poso Sembibiri wo ene obi abeka na dwen de ewu bia tim obeka no no want to mbo aseka kofi bibia boko
Captain na otren wo share ti amama kai memmerma sem mere Captain so di life o
kakaka
would the life you but nyame adom bibia you okay empire near bosse Ghana full youth and Ghana food now back come to the realization say baby radio and I'm very much keke won until the marching na mem fama me say Ivan dey do no so be kasa bibiri nti wo de ma me marching na enko no bi anya kwan marching nchia abusuafo ye chiam ye da mo asenso say na de bia mo ye na no pe bia captain abey na onim so bi sangensem akese agufom nti ye da mo asese mo hwe nti ye be ma anuanom nso achia captain na ya boboso
Ni
Captain.
Everything fine.
Captain.
Yeah. You are roaming around there.
On the road, yes.
It shall be well.
Yes.
It shall be well.
It
shall be well. Ivan.
Captain.
One of the shots into to us.
Esia ya che.
Pa.
Mechana what here for so. Amenka se. Some dem be okrom. And I think they capture my interest. And the first one, I'm started with the recent reshuffle, a course by the president. And Captain Debiabeka said, always and always, you know, the relationship that must exist between power and the people, no, must be that of mutual respect and intellectual kinship.
Okay.
And when that relationship exists there, people at the top, when they are doing something something has gone on toward that, you don't need to be pressured to resign because you are working on the trust and on the confidence of the people. So whenever that link is broken, as a nipa you should see the need to step aside and then for another person to come on board. We saw it in the UK and other places. But unfortunately, your politics that particular sense of remorse in him. So nipa who free say what committed certain atrocities are or expect say on one veiling the whole to other people and I said to institutions nearby prosecuting and nearby investigating those people that sense of remorse in you I feel quite they feel emboldened and decide to do whatever that they want to do. Resha for now president so be a president in our part of the world that he has every right to decide when and what or who to put at any position. The constitution, give you the president that particular powers to do that. But the president in too many or yes appointment in the citizenry have the power to also call on the president to do some changes at least. Governance so when it is not going as intended, citizens have every right to call on the president because we are not just mere stooges. We are active partners in this whole thing called governance. You're working together to ensure some efficiency will be brought to bear. But we can call on our president to decide, Charlie, ABC, and that is the clarion call Ghanaians placed on the president. Abra Ghana for across the political divide. Your friends say people within academia, civil society organizations call on the president, say, Mr. Man. And yes, the way a manner things are going, and and to do something, do some changes. The president was bold enough to look at in our faces, say, why calling on him to do the changes were either jobless or belong to the opposition. At the time, a critical time, Ghana for here changes, he never did it.
So now he's also
so today he has done it. So the question is, no, only jobless are not belonging to the opposition. At the time, failure is starting right in front of us. Calling on the president, he told us that his appointees were doing better. But the fact on the ground, we're pointing to the contrary. For instance, ɔsɛ ɔnkɔtena nkyɛn a wase atam na akɔ akɔto baabi foforɔ a ɔkɔ akɔyɛ adwuma na wobisa wo sɛ sɛ wofa ne ministry hɔ na wohɛ the kind of yɛfɛn sɛ nneɛma a abrante wo yɛayɛ wɔ kurom ha ya sɛnka Ghana ayɛ serious contract ne Kenoforata is talking from Nsawam not say ɔkɔ yɛfɛn sɛ international baabi akɔ represent Ghana because economy no ya tete na pansa my and says Ghana economy the more say describe I don't know the kind of right words we find it to describe Ghana's economy. Abrante na tena ho are taking all the nasty decisions as so taking I wrecking the very foundation of our economy and there is nothing to be proud of. Today I'm no say look at our debt to your GDP. Eka and our many Ghana and your debt portfolio now rise here to over 800 billion Ghana cedis and I yet ho and na ada bosia yakwa jeje and yakwa abonte akọ declare na no na make catch obi say dollar rate na akodu 12 cedis no for the past 1 year yen service your debt. Because we have declared bankruptcy our outside the catch external creditors say we cannot pay our debt at this time. Domestically we have done debt restructuring. What it means is we are not even paying those we own in this country. So ideally dollar is supposed to be stable. But look at the dollar rate today. It shows that the very fundamentals of this particular economy, you're working on. Then nothing seems to be working. And Abra started, and then the president, he need to do to this wisdom coming from the people. For the first time in the Fourth Republic, in your political party, or they give you birth to a bino. Members of Parliament calling on the president, the finance minister, there is no confidence, there is no trust in him, and to put him aside for another person to come and take over. The president told him, "I am
no poison leader, no."
Oh, ayo. So you see, these are the facts.
I said it yesterday.
At the time, I know you hear say, yes, I changes because time now cannot. Me, I don't see anything be able to see. And the president now what's say realizing the time as well coffee. There are some individuals who want more appointments, so they have to be brought on board. Say at least, but they intend to ensure say any proper re-engineering in the setup just to bring on board certain efficiency. I bet me put the economy on its wheels. Such plans and any team. Now, I'm really nipa because Mr. You're president, you need to respect the people. You cannot run a country like Obi Otie Kurasi or running a pharmacy shop. Anytime you ever will be out or to meet two no the Safana Gunuboto no nam. And that will young back house young country and they saw one a year or Kodidi. Cromons and you don't know Quabe 7. We named the Oko de Fee, other bad no. So the upper and discretion in a for and near Juma. That is the kind of at the time I hear no to come and fix this, to do changes.
That I am Mr.
Captain, Abra you hear on that particular changes to save Ghanaians, At that time, what you na on Otitamale air Casabians, which Ghana for say, we casa on your changes, we are either jobless. But the fact, on the grounds that say economy, there's no economy. And go outside. All the credible rating agencies are downgrading Ghana and your status and your junk. With that junk status, and again, Abrana Neman Kosono, corruption na air cost within government, Akufo-Addo had the power to act. Yet the health minister here Pamano and yet the same papa when they call parliament, echo catcher up say when Jessica Mashake in the end what happened? At the end of the day, nothing happened to him. The president came out and defended him. So the president has defended these people or no. Fairly no fairly, Now there were enough motivation for his appointees to fail because some quite the born and bar president will be defender. Yet Kroma, so what to say, yes, PDS deal now, and young gold, or a young gold, your father say, a Japan deal now go and then about to say, Ghana, I lose $12 million.
Patron. And pay my
$12 million in a Japan deal, I cancel.
I have said it and I will repeat. Obi obeka say $12 million biano. Obwa. A 112.3 million. Mena me kind. If I'm a blessed Gospel smart. Sue me and leave me the agenda.
Okay. Captain. So Kwan Ben Abafaswa, ubetimi atena se akire sa se mu akire Ghana for said dealer enyam go through. Dealer say ya suspended, dealer ya cancel and as a result your friend is saying and go through that baby Kwan Ben ya fa so ye be lose this whooping amount of money. Explanation be I never catch us here behind dying and we engage consultant and I say I didn't go through. So how come ye ba bedru ba bi ye ba bedru ye and that phenomenon no na ato so akwa kodru ba bi na ye gina yi ye tia da ekofa PDS ba ye be for dance akwan so begege Ghana for sika abusuan ncheni. As a result of that, sika na Obama ede my through African Power Initiative amount of $190 million as a saka and I'm sa PDS deal captain ya cancel ya iron sanka sika no. So there has been enough akoso e wo krom ha eka president Akufo-Addo ye serious na nya say all run Ghana say krasi pharmacy shop na say bi obetimi aye de opa me ya sure say cause that time no nko tie Ghana for nyansa say na Ghana for catch no and then why that particular changes because makase we are president in that part of the world every single brain in the country is under your disposal. So as you so wishes nipa officer or the competence whatever it takes your order on board say be able to fix the problem no you have that particular room to bring those people on board and they will be back. That's on your jumana. All you have to do is to put that particular person aside and then you bring in fresh ideas then as a forum. But prioritizing family relationship, family ties then as a forum over the interest of the nation. So okay no for in as much as on some he never did anything about it. He kept him in his position against opposition from his own party. And I don't know, ship na call recaria, ship na say we are with few months to go to elections. You're coming back to tell us and we are reshuffle for what? Reshuffle for they on board because I don't know say that you have taken over 6-7 years to destroy the economy. So 6 months now to go to election because we need to Kroma in an election year. You drew October Kobia the ministry Obia is on the ground doing campaign. So what are these people coming to do? But Abrana, all the signs were pointing to the fact that we were going down. No? He didn't do anything. Yet your mind must be Obikranya who said sector where something was actually going wrong. A troll letter the command president PBC and they told Major Padi. Are you aware, sir? One of the auditors, our year 15 years, it realizes that the market share of PBC was going down. The gentleman was bold enough to write a letter to the president telling him, said, this is what is going on. PBC, the market share air from because of mismanagement and incompetence. He wrote a letter to the president. Oh yes, I we are a company. Nobody interceded on his behalf. And then PBC did a court airton the Japadiano. And your mind said, be acting in the interest of this country. Do you think Senka better answer Masade Nakoso? A branch and a quarter fear for the past years in the packages the man can see because the company and in reality the company was sinking because at the time we're not all tried, the market value our 30.8, above 10%. I actually say the company was sinking. And to be Ghana and I see any active participant. My spectators, a troll letter. I copy the president telling you what is happening. That's it. You boy in demand. Actually, said there is enough incentive for people to engage in corrupt activities. And then our mamona, because the president is serious or bass or fix your my captain. And the first thing I be say and Camera you see him cutting down the size of government because look at the amount of money we spend in financing government in Ankasa. Such a net the way about we are serious at least in Qatar you do something before you die. You cut down the size of government. You don't fix in those guys. So this is how as a Ghana for you realize this politics now it must bear fruit and serve the interest of the people. But consistently, if we use political power to reward few greedy people who who get political power, and they feel that they are powerful, and we will get nowhere. And that is the problem I say. Because these changes here, I don't see the kind of impact on the economy of this particular country. Apart from the political capital the president is likely to realize because maybe I remember my way appointment. And even the criteria or the yes idea is not based on any merit. Because I am for a primary, so be ready. Oh, we near Okuboy Lusu ye, or you know, or we near primary here, or back be me, was signed the number, and this is the kind of changes that all ye, Oko, your friends said, no, for baby, woman will be refined. Is that Freda Prempos of mine? All Lusu the way, so I turn up and then as a forum. So it is not about merit, it is not about Nippon or body anything. It is a compensatory package being handed over to these people. But this is of mine. This is not an institution, this is not a family property. You can't run it at a said the Usi PBR and no. And as a Ghana for Yamaya who say what is happening is just a misleading political spin that these people are just throwing on us just to prove a point that he's doing something. But the fact is that Akufo-Addo is never committed. Say, or Buamagana ye or Base or Bebom Kufobiachi Dom Amomonya Sika. And from day one, it is about money, money, money. That is why the last time I told you, say, if you take out politics, it's a complete steal hour. People are just rushing for money, making money to look good, and beyond that, and there's absolutely nothing.
Ni?
Captain. Which I say for now? Yes. Captain, listen to politics, and if you listen to the political conversations I cause, it's as if we're running this campaign with newbies. I said, Obia than an independent candidate. Even Mahama Baumia or Mukasa Na independent candidates. As if they're running for the first time. They don't know anything about governance. It's their first try. Captain, if you've been vice president, let me start with the vice president. If you've been vice president in this country for 7 years, by this time, say, oh yeah, any campaign is supposed to be about projects are why. So you speak about your track record, what you've done in office for the past 7 years, and that will form the basis of the campaign away. Say, this is what I've been able to do for the past 7 years. If you're able to give me the nod going forward, no, Metwaso, or that's the second phase of whatever I'm doing. But Captain, we hear this man going around giving promises, say, I will do this, I will do this. But he's not able to account for what he has been able to do in the past 7 years. And that's worrying for me. And if I was in his campaign team, I would really be ashamed to even go around trying to speak.
Mate. Oh.
But I'm saying,
okay.
As mate, no, Yamao Ejumabi say you're the one who's supposed to count the money. And you drive an aircraft scan, your mate. That's why he's the head of the economic management team. It's mate, no, so inside, no. Mate, na, or just scan, or no, kind scan, or no, Bema was insisting on this. Yes, that's the major function of the mate. And if he says he's not the driver, he's the mate, that's no problem. But account for your stewardship as a mate. And see, as head or the leader of the economic management team, what has been his suggestion or his programs he has pushed forward? They play that spin and say, oh, there was sabotage inside and all of that. But explain exactly what it was. And Captain, you see, on the basis of integrity, if you're in a space and you're trying to deliver on your mandate, but you realize that the environment is not conducive for you to deliver, the best thing you can do to save your integrity is to resign. And see, for 7 years, we're the mate. You are telling us at this material moment, say, you were not able to do anything because the conditions in there were not right. What are you telling us? So what happens to your integrity? You could not leave at the right time when you had to leave. Captain, but on the lighter note, only say, book back, almost say, tie dry, mates, kashkai jofue, driver me ikemi, funichigia. Say, yes, say, on the tie na pie. And I'm amazing this kind of journey. It's driver anyway, drive. That's a very good song back in the day. But Captain, see, so that's with the vice president. I'm saying I'll feel very ashamed if I was on his team to even communicate, because I should be speaking about what he has been able to do in the past 7 years. And yet I will do. To make matters worse, yet they say we're implementing some cashless system for buses. And in addition to that, they mentioned say Oma procure 100 electric buses. Say buses are use diesel and use petrol. Say you better charge buses. Like Captain, my phone gram into me in charge phone because of low current. That's even if you're lucky or light. Unye lucky ube dadum somu. Into my phone gram into me in charging my phone. You're talking about charging and you're one bus. So you see, we are bringing 100 electric buses to bring into Ghana to. But
and mate in the day, but as a driver.
Mates no.
Mates
no own him car or say he's telling us about. Captain, I said this is a circus show. But Captain, let me put him on the side because there's not much to go on the vice president. Let's deal with Onya Yera Mahama. Mahama say his flagship campaign message and the policy says 24-hour economy. Captain, see, before Ghanaians were not really interested in political matters, but you need to power. And so you cannot just bring any policy and think Ghanaians are going to jump on it just like that because you said it. Debbie, say, I know you bisa questions. So all the policy we would scrutinize the policy and look at how feasible that policy is. And they're saying, Captain, you're talking about the 24-hour economy. Say people be able to work throughout the day, which is a good thing. Captain, so share the normal working hours, say, the average working hours, say 8 hours. Now, if in a day we have 24 hours, nature say, within the 24 hours, you can have 3 8-hour working shifts. So the 24-hour economy, what it means, they say, and then obi beko ejuma ebia 6 and 7 and 8. Obi pong around 4 or 5. That's the 8-hour working window. But see, and we're going to have a 24-hour economy. Nipa obi pong 5 p.m. no, or pong ya obi beba on the next shift. And from 5 p.m. to the next shift, that will be around 11 and after 12 thereabout. That's the next 8-hour economy. I mean, the 8-hour shift. So nipa no upon around 10, 11 thereabout. So not the next person are starting the shift from that time to the next 8 hours. It's going to be a full day being run by 3 different shifts, which is a good thing. But Captain, see, I know that we are dealing with an 8-hour work shift. No, we are not able to meet the energy demand as it stands. That is the problem we're having right now. See, I know you say you're going to increase that demand by at least 3 times, which is for the 24-hour economy. There's nowhere in the policy where we've had anything that's going to address our energy generation capacity. And see, if you're talking about, say, you're going to run a 24-hour economy, and even with the 8-hour shift, say, we're not able to manage the 8-hour shift because energy demand is not being able to be, it's not able to be met. How then do you tell us, say, you're going to run a 24-hour economy when the energy demand is going to go up by ×3? You see, and see, before no, bet you have a cancer assembly, and then we'll be happy, then you can mislead us. But me say, and the Ghanaian youth are very, very discerning. We will scrutinize any policy that is brought out to us, and we'll make sure, say, we interrogate and see how feasible it is. And so based on the facts that we've been given and the information we've given so far on the 24-hour economy, I can confidently tell Ghanaians, say, it is not a policy that has been properly thought through, and it's going to be something that will just wash away. Because, like I'm saying, anybody who's serious about running a 24-hour economy, the first issue you should be dealing with, should be your energy generation capacity and demand. There's an argument going around, say Ghana says more generation capacity. I mean, we can meet the energy demand for this project. The problem with our energy generation capacity is most of the plants that are running to give us excess generation capacity run on light crude oil or natural gas, which are relatively expensive to run. It's even though you have all of these energy plants and power plants that can run to produce excess generation capacity, you find out that the cost involved in running those power plants makes it useless. And see, if you are not able to secure your light crude oil or your natural gas, you cannot run any of those plants. And see, we might have a huge generation capacity way above what the demand is, but because we're not able to fire on all cylinders, and I said to run on those power plants, so we're not able to meet the energy demand. And see, to the youth of Ghana, again, I'm saying, this is a time, I say, yes, scrutinize all the policies that are brought to us by any of the political parties. And like I've said, MPP and NDC's political leaders, they say, at the end, they say, this is their first time coming to politics. Instead of speak about what they've done before, we are hearing messages on what I am coming to do. Oh, may I say. Why can't they tell us what they've been able to do already? And then we can make that decision as to if you are able to handle the demand going forward. I mean, the mandate going forward. But Captain, you see, Mike, I've said this. It's only. Oh, look, you can
3 SHS, 1 district, 1 factory.
Yes.
1 district, 1 dam, 1 village, 1 toilet, 1 ambulance, 1 constituency.
1 constituency, $1 million. They say, pacha, chaka, say. There's nothing that is coherent. And you see, Captain, when the One District, One Factory program came out, it was a beautiful strategy. But the reason why that policy was not able to run, they said they never addressed their energy generation issue. That was one part that they didn't address. Because, say, I will show you domestic consumption. Apart from 60% of the energy, 50% of the energy from Akosombo America Valco, the rest of the 50% is supposed to be shared amongst industries and households. But even amongst this small setting, the energy generation is not enough to even meet our residential demand. Anything that you're doing so and all of those things. Now you're telling us in every district you're going to build a factory. If we have 275 districts in the country, it means you are looking at nothing less than 275.
You trusted that?
No, Captain, I'm saying it was a beautiful policy, but nobody addressed the energy generation capacity component. And that is why that policy never ran.
Even if we had excess,
yes.
And
see, when someone comes to tell you, say, I'm going to run a 24-hour economy, and I've laid out the factors involved in this, it's easy for everyone who can analyze this to see, say, it's not a feasible policy, or it has not been thought through. But it's just a nice election slogan that can be thrown out there.
But the 24-hour, I think it's already happening in the system. And I'm what?
No, you didn't get what I said then.
No, I'm not saying because of what you
Yeah, so
said.
some service providers are actually running 24 hours.
Yes.
Like some of the hospitals and all of those.
Hospitals,
yes.
media houses,
yes,
filling stations,
yes,
even some food joints.
They run 24
It's already
hours.
running.
Yes. But I'm saying,
just that it's not properly structured.
Yes, that's not put in that government framework. But I'm saying, Captain, if this is going to be made mainstream, the energy demand is going to skyrocket. Because I'm saying now you're dealing with 3 shifts for every worker. And if you're not able to even meet the energy generation demand, say, how is it that you're going to increase the workload by 3-fold and expect to run it on the same energy generation capacity? It does not work. It doesn't make sense anywhere. And so I'm saying, for any well-meaning Ghanaian, anyone who has a rational mind and can analyze situations, just scrutinizing or interrogating this policy, it's clear, sir, Captain, this is just an election slogan, and that is not feasible. If this thing is going to work, I've said we should first deal with our energy generation capacity and technology. And this is a time we should be looking at other means of energy generation technologies.
They said they have solved the problem.
With what?
You haven't heard.
No, that's why I mentioned it. Maybe
they said they have solved all our energy problems.
Maybe when you step back, I mentioned it, sir. The energy generation capacity we have right now is above what the demand is. But Captain, so our power plants are running now. Now running on crude oil, light crude oil, or natural gas. And these things are very expensive. Our debt to the West African gas pipeline have not been paid. I saw a publication that says from about 28th February, they're going to shut down for regular maintenance. Captain, you know what that means when they say that. But we know what it really means when they say they're going to shut down for regular maintenance.
Yeah,
but, exactly, because Ghana has not been able to pay our gas supply. And see, if all our energy generation plants are running on either light crude or natural gas, and we're not even able to pay those monies, how are we going to fire on all cylinders? If the doom's on the day, yes, we are going to face doomsday. But anybody who's come to promise us the creation of new jobs, industries, or the 24-hour economy, without addressing the energy generation capacity and technology issue, women say they cannot do anything for us. Captain, to wrap up on some of the other things, I just touch on this and we'll go second round. I've seen an attempt, people are trying to throw democracy into shambles. The EC had proposed, said they wanted to move the voting from 7th December to November. I am glad. But you see, Captain, that's why in the beginning some of us spoke sense and said that it is not possible to do this in an election year. If you're going to change something as major as an election for a national election, and by election, no.
Should be right after the previous election.
And then you have time to pilot it. And so it shouldn't even be a first major run. There will be a pilot to test your infrastructure and see if it is feasible. That's what you do first. Until you have enough time to work out the kinks and the problems inside and make sure you have a very robust problem. But Captain, you see, we have people here who, don't respect the Ghanaian people, who don't respect our democracy. They think they can get up and do anything they want without thinking about the repercussions for their actions. And see, how can you in your right mind come out and say in an election year, say you want to move the election date from the 7th of December to any other day? If it's not a plot or strategy to rig the elections, then what else is it? But Captain, again, I always appeal to my youth. It's clear, says the youth of Ghana, we are over 60% of the voter population. Which means, Captain, the laws of elections in Ghana say, for anyone to be declared the winner of any election in Ghana, you have to have 50 plus 1. So the youth of Ghana, your collective numbers, over 60% of the voter population. It means power is with the youth automatically. What it means, let's say, if the youth decide and choose any individual and say, this is the person we want to make president in Ghana today, there's no law in Ghana or anywhere that can stop that from happening. Because by the share numbers, which is over 60%, we can make whoever we want president at any time. What it also means, let's say, if the youth of Ghana with our numbers, which is over 60% of the voter population, decides that we're going to put any member into parliament of our choosing, that is a done deal. Because every individual we support will have over 60% of the voter population votes. Now, this puts the youth in a very, very peculiar position. Say, we are the most powerful demographic in the country. And if we understand what our numbers is, Captain, we can put this to the right use. But the first thing we have to do is we have to become one team. So also MPP4, they've organized themselves into a group called MPP. So also NDC4, they've organized themselves into a group called NDC. There are several organizations and groupings in this country, except for one group, which is the youth. Now, I said we are the largest grouping in Ghana. We have not been able to come together to form that group or that team, and that is what we are always being taken for granted. Now, I'm saying this is a golden opportunity for the youth of Ghana to stand and make sure, say, our number and our power count for something. And I've said this, with our numbers, we can make the right decisions to put people who are competent and men of integrity, men and women of integrity, into any position of power that we deem fit. But the first step, let's say, we have to come together and form that union bloc as Ghanaian youth. And based on our numbers, I said we can change our situation and our destiny almost overnight. Captain, thank you.
Kofi.
Captain, I think there is a misconception that I need to clear. They be a work at 24-hour economy. Ubi ba baumia me who say so we have a 24-hour economy. We have the police service. We have the hospitals. We have the abusiafo. Who hospital now run 24 hours? And don't say it's an economy. Who police service now run 24 hours? Who utility service now run 24 hours? Who even a business and a factory now run 24 hours? And don't just say you have a 24-hour economy. An economy is an orchestra. You can't make an economy in isolation. Inti businesses are around 24 hours now. Does not give Ubia the right to solve a case. Here 24-hour economy. Economy no nye unipa ba kwontondo kono wokona. Ese du nketia meka say well there's the best so niama no du fam. Me say na kwen you serious? Say well there's the best so niama no du fanti ni ye 24-hour economy. Really? And yes, I'm a 24-hour economy too. 24-hour economy, yeah, a whole synergistic orchestra of companies working, supporting each other. Now, 24-hour economy, it's a joke. Ghana for munti na mekani. Nyama biesa. The first thing, connectivity. Connectivity ni den. Connectivity, ne say, wo mass transit. You need transportation system. Ya kwankura say. Inti how do you move obia all your transactions, all your part of commerce, from point A to point B? Truck driver no start at 5 a.m. upon 10 p.m. no. Hina bill no babe take over sa shift no. Inti we need connectivity. Connectivity ne be fast internet. Fast first and a data boy ding waha. It be just making calls, who cry MTN, or the free Vodafone, Miami phones are being, say the caller is out of reach. Miami create 2 phones, Nina Aso. You can't have an economy without connectivity. You can't have a 24-hour economy without competency. One competency level no edu here na then no whatever be adwuma no. Ye ni competency sa, and no kura enyuma na. Hina ne ba be adwuma no. Competency level ben no de ba be adwuma no. Inti we need connectivity, we need competency, now we need complexity. Complexity ne say, we to me ye niam, let me tell you something. Okay? Ghana fo. And I say ye kasaya na obi feel say bia ya kan bibi wo ba bi ne ye de bebri mo bi ani so da bi anya sa na tene. Say Ghana let me build a middle class. Na young 600 billion cedis debt ye tumi atua ye hia say ye be elevate young complexity. Complexity ne say onipa baako tumi ye enuma bebre wo yi na di wa ha otumi kwa akɔhwɛ adwuma ukɔ Germany ne the highest complexity country in the world because more people of the population have an ability to work in more fields than any other country in the world. And this is our baby. And the more you have a competency level, the more incomes go up. Incomes go up, then you spend. To say you could produce niamano for a 24-hour economy now. 30% of the economy makes less than 5 cedis a day. Inti hina ne babeto esikafono so they don't shop in Ghana. What could Dubai in the US niade? We don't have a middle class. Inti if you don't have a middle class ne patronize an economy. We need a middle class. You don't have an economy. Ghana, we don't have a middle class. Munti na mekan. Ya middle class in wa bruchilin. Until till say you build a middle class, an ability to, and what friends say, ATP, ability to pay, to have PP, purchasing power. No, there's no way you can have impossible. Until Mr. Mahama, if Mr. Mahama and NDC for, to me, a 24-hour economy. And they made an extra $1 billion of revenues out. Everybody will hail them, say, they are the kings, they are the best thing since sliced bread in Ghana. Now, Mr. Mahama, an advice to you. Open your 24-hour economy. Focus on eradicating corruption. And let me tell you why. We eradicated corruption. You say Accountant General Kachin say every year we lose $3 to $4 billion. $3 to $4 billion a year. If you will just eradicate corruption for us to get just 50% of that money back, hemorrhaging now young economy hemorrhage from corruption, no, no. Don't plan on making the bucket bigger. Siutokru no kekene ye de kosa unsuna insuno enwini. Something I make and say, siutokru no, corruption is a bigger problem than any economy we can build in Ghana. And I'm telling you, Ghana, for Obia already present no home for president. So when to me I'm making it conclusively clear, say, for the Fourth Republic, the last 32 years, Obia wa cause financial loss to the state, ye be prosecuting no. Ne sikebia wa cause financial loss no, ye yende back, plus interest, plus charges, plus fees. Ye jese sikane back. No wasan dem aka ho a onye ready for president. On to me and run yen country. Say, wo president nankasa, if you would not subject yourself, say, if you've caused financial loss to the state, you should be prosecuted. Sikebia, we are responsible for. Necessary Ghana for year because we're going back to the IMF, and we don't want to go back to the IMF. So, cycle of IMF, World Bank, SCAJ, because I know never Tory and I say IMF one who say they BR for 17 times. One who say for the same people we bring money to. And they squander the money. And they have an excuse to bring us the money. And what they do, they say, instead of getting at the people who are causing us this mess, you know, they actually turn around and set up rules and regulations for the IMF to degenerate young society. And that's what they do. That's what they do. They are degenerating the society, the fiber of Ghana and the people of Ghana. That has to stop. Obi Opesa, your president, to prove to Ghana for how you're going to eradicate corruption. When Chime eradicated corruption, including one kasa for every financial loss one cost to Ghana, you're not ready to be a president. Ghana should not even consider your candidacy with any seriousness. Now, to build a nation, no, you don't build a 24-hour economy. That's not how you build a nation. You build a nation by putting building blocks in place. Building blocks fa pen na fa paper. Number one, housing. Housing. If you want the people to do well, let me say science-based, data-driven, but human-centeredness with a long-term national interest for Ghana. And no need to build Ghana. Into housing, number one. Niama 10, health care, employment, meaningful employment. And yet na Zoom line for ya with 180 cedis a month. No. Meaningful employment. I would to me to a young to air condition board them to deep freezer maire to car. Education, relevant education. Number 5, security. Number 6, recreation. Recreation. Say yensu yeni be jese Ghana for niya yebe patronize niyama ya Ghana. Kofu Sutherland Park. Hifana Children's Park war. Hifana water parks war. Hefana wonam gondola so akwa na de hwe mountains no won aduadua flowers ni trees in arrangements na ni ade wokọ wo friend ada na wokọ enjoy underwater snorkeling no many ade sa ne many na se ye ni tourism industry wa ha ye ntumi nya infrastructure bia ha de bia Ghana for sorry we going to tourism we just said tourism wa ye koye tourism no wa ha ni ama obi afa nipa na afi abrochiri aba yenka airline ho asem bia ye ni airline ye ni hotels. Look at how expensive hotels are in Accra. Hotels are papa na ye 4-star no e ahoho dia Ghana for ye ni hotels. The government has not invested in hotels, invested in infrastructure for tourism. They be also with tourism. One say you can't compete because over $500 so come Mexico open your 4-star hotel at 3 days and you do ampedi. Would your ticket graph in New York aba Ghana no $1,200. Hina no omra Ghana. Meko Mexico femo US. Me wo London na meko baby ebia you were friend in France and baby wo Ghana because ye ni airline into ye ntumi nye deals bia ma ahoho se wo mra Ghana ye wo national airliner and national airline adwuma no say wo be ye deals na ye ni hotels we own the airline into ye no ni akati deal ni ama tourists aba wo ba they spend the money but we don't control the airlines, you don't control the hotels. Into how are you going to make the tourists come? What do you say? Into tourism, the whole industry is well, tourism, why and any pub and crowd. Because you just don't even understand the basics, the fundamentals. Into housing, healthcare, employment, education, transportation, telecommunication, security, recreation, markets. Kogwaso, nra Sunday. Nena sami ko guaso. Oh my gosh. Kohe guaso. Ko Brazil na kohe won guaso. Send when lanes. When lane what on mo ha what on you.
And Misha markets. Oh Brazil.
Oh
Misha I was asking myself, say, is it a town or a market?
No I ye from what the tiles are from bathrooms. Na what markets would do okra person what now that baby could be a bench or what sadness and Brazil crown it's not even considered a first world but kona one bank so dina ye owned by the country. No foreign banks. No foreign bank want to go BBA or processing or add value or Brazil or BBA and fiha yende ya tong niama nenansi ya lithium ya sa ton ka ho. Any a functional CBD, functional central business district. Ye ni central business district to have. It is a witness anyama 10 year. You can never build a nation. Now the big question to you as I end, they say, in 32 years of the Fourth Republic, NDC MPP, which of these 10, niyama 10 year mebubueyi, niyawe na matumi aye na well, in 32 years. Housing, healthcare, employment, education, transportation, telecommunication, security, recreation, markets, functional CBD. 1 in 32 years. Or kwankra da firma you have to kwankra from Accra to Kumasi 32 years muntuminye. There are 275 parliamentarians and then we can blow my mind. Mugu parliament that na mo ye muna mo da SUV me say mo be kofie ewia kitikiti because mo hu ni mfaso. Nobody can tell me hey say with artificial intelligence or sir I will say 24-hour economy. Man, you guys just don't get it. You don't have it, you don't get it, you don't understand. Munti asma American me a president a 6-hour economy. 8-hour economy you better also because we need Ghanaians to work less and live more. And let me tell you how that's going to be done with artificial intelligence, cellular intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality. No, some technologies no ma we more. with less time. And I opening meboa.
Yes, but I will not work here.
I don't know.
Ghana is a developing economy, not a
It's a developing economy.
No, and no crowd now. As I say, we
it's a developing, even in America, in advanced
Brazil,
they are doing 8 hours, some are doing 10 hours, and all
But
that.
Captain, just to support what you're saying, an empty barrel is more useful than a full barrel. I'll say that again. An empty barrel is more useful than a full barrel, because empty barrel now will be to me the insuagum, but the full barrel is already full. Ghana is a developing country, so it gives us.
I said, Jumani will be brave.
So, under good leadership, good leadership and competence, we have a clear state.
When you introduce these things, you must also have in mind. You were talking about synergistic approach to the 8-hour, 24-hour economy. If you, when you introduce these things, one, already AI is creating unemployment.
That's not true.
No, it is. It is, Kofi. It is. I'm telling you, market somewhere. In the next 3 years, a lot of secretaries in America will lose their jobs.
But I can give you an instance in Finland.
No, but the point
Finland
is that
has a 3-day working week, not a 5-day.
no,
working
but
week.
Finland after that, their industries work every day.
So this is what I'm saying.
No,
that's
see,
Finland,
Finland, their schools work every day, Monday to Friday.
No, like I'm saying, that's why we can replicate
No,
that. We can learn
if
from
you look
that.
at the areas, if you look at the Finland economy, they operate the middle base economy in Finland. From 1907, that they won themselves from wherever they were being colonized or whatever. You see that they've always operated, Finland has always operated from the middle base economic approach. And on that level, education 24 hours. So Finland is the only country under the sun that the education doesn't close. It is 24, 247, 365. Their industries don't. The banks, 24. Their ministries, departments, and agencies, 24. The only part of Finland economy that doesn't work 7 days in a week is those above 50 years. 1 or year, 3 days in a week. But the youth in Finland, they work like crazy donkeys.
No, if you want to, you see, Captain, I'm saying you're not working because you want
to. Say I got a higher way.
No,
I can choose to tell Media General that I can work 7 days in a week. I can work 5 days in a week. Media General will sit you down if you want to. Say that, yes, we agree, Captain. Come Monday, come Wednesday, and come Friday. And we will pay you based on that. Even in America, if you don't want to work 8 hours, nobody will kill you. It's a choice. But in an economy like ours, where even the class 1 person, when you equate that person to the class 1 person in America, it looks like
yeah, but
so what we have to do is not I want to be mindful, not the unnecessary introduction of technology. But we first of all have to build a human capacity. After the human capacity is well built.
No, but that's what we are saying.
Yeah, but
when the human capacity is well built, then you can sit down and say that. Because the human resource is very sophisticated and well resourced, then you introduce these things. As we stand today, if you become president this year, 7 January, you'll be sworn in, 2025. If you want to bring artificial intelligence one time, bam,
yeah, but
your government will become unpopular in 21 days.
Captain,
that's not how it works.
Captain, that's not how it works. Everything that you do pilot programs,
Business
and
first,
you gradually go in gradually, and you build a progressive.
And they can hear.
No, but the
way you said it, it was like
Captain,
virtual reality, general reality, reality.
Yeah. But Captain, Sanyo Meni now one start here. You have to start.
No, but
somewhere.
so many politicians say, boom.
Boom, but be I am fanning now show be no one time. But
Kofi, African politics now, oh, you know.
Captain.
Eti yenim say, there were cameras other stations across, I mean, in the advanced stations, you don't see people standing behind the cameras. But even AI cannot operate better without the human control. You need to input it for the AI to absorb
and
then work with.
Yeah, but that's a whole process.
Break it down.
Captain, yeah, Mahanum say me break it down.
No, but you making a statement.
There had Captain. Say, who invite me in my show so. No, meet you, but you break it down. But just say, I'm reading ho. With all respect to time near, you know. Inti, what can't Adiani in big chunks? Yes, Okufi, Adia Okai, Ede, Nemum Chechiri Mua. Then I could definitely go into details. Straightforward idea Mekaye with competency, connectivity, complexity. Set Mekanasana Mijano. But yes, I could spend an hour on each and go through. But I'm reading ho, out of respect. Inti, Makana boom sa. It's for set obia otia or yet discerning no so baby cassette. Kufia Kasasi maybe yen say near Missa. But the what they make of course, but the MMA can say AI, ni virtual reality, this is a friend saying augmented reality, no sound you may a year king. And yet idea oba obekasi ye be training Ghana for na we edu some point to be. You bring the technology down. And gradually, you train people. Say, this is where it starts. First of all, Ghana 4P use AI women through their cell phones. So, generative AI, it's already happening here in Ghana, but the government is not exploiting such technologies to their advantage. 275 parliamentarians here we one who need for because you may be a woman yeno, you bet me the generative AI no aye. You may be a woman ye be. Why do you spend so much money?
So then why don't you ask America to stop voting for senators? It is coming from them.
And never make consent.
That's why I came in to say that. Let's not overpopulist this approach.
It's not.
Okay, because if you're looking at governance, technology comes in to aid governance, but governance is being perpetuated, orchestrated, executed by human brains.
That's correct.
Right? So, until the human capacity is well maintained and sustained and groomed.
How long will that take?
No, it doesn't matter how long, because what you can absorb in 30 minutes, maybe it will take me 2 hours. So at every sphere of governance, you look for people who can handle that department. So for example, sitting here, I'm not a finance person. So if you want Captain Smart to become your finance minister, you're asking me that 2 years after appointing me, you're asking me to go study. But maybe probably you are a finance person. So you can carry on and go there.
Then you look for the people who are ready for the...
That's what I'm saying. So you look for the people who are actually competent at every sphere and department of the governance ladder.
How else do you plan to do it? You can't just throw everybody in there and say, listen, time for you to go in.
Fantastic. So it is not AI that is going to do everything.
No, it's not. Listen, the idea is not for AI to do everything. But what we're saying is that there are so many things that, spend sika. We can replace.
To say
basic decisions to be.
To say.
Parliament. Okay. You don't need a parliamentarian to tell you, say, in a town of 10,000 people, ye nim through your friends say census. Ye nim say we have 1,000 1-year-olds, 2,000 2-year-olds, 3,000 3-year-olds. Ye nim demographics in inti when you put that information in a computer, ye nim say we need this many hospitals and clinics. Meboa. Ye nim say ye here acquire networks of this much. It will tell you.
Do we need AI to tell us this?
No, but you certainly don't need a parliamentarian.
No, Kofi, we don't need AI.
No, Captain.
You need time to have this discussion.
No, but Captain, why would you?
No, Kofi. It's an overbloated approach. You see, it's an overbloated approach, and
you have a parliamentarian.
No, Kofi, that's an overbloated approach. We are not looking at the resources given to them. We're looking at their role.
And have they been effective?
No, you hold on there. You hold it there. We're looking at their role, not the
results.
The resources given them.
But that's how you make decisions.
No, the point is that Ghana, as we sit here, we do not need AI to come and tell us that we need roads. That a particular location or community requires roads.
Okay,
we don't need AI.
What do you need?
You know, I know. He is aware that even Dansuman, before AI was introduced into this world, we needed roads.
But then they haven't been effective.
So it is not the AI that is going to do the magic. It is the human brain. After the AI has generated...
The human brain has refused to work.
Kofi, AI doesn't pay tax.
That's the whole reason why...
No. AI doesn't disburse funds.
Hey,
it is the human brain after the whole so-called...
Human brain here, Juma.
No, Kofi. So are you saying that when you become president, you will relegate human brains and use AI?
Captain,
so break it up properly.
Captain, the MMA can say, we have to accept the fact to say, 275 parliamentarians, they haven't been effective for
that's a fantastic point. I agree.
So how you going?
But it is not AI replacement. When you reduce the number, that's fine.
Okay, but who reduce it?
But if you say that we'll reduce it 275, now I employ the services of AI to deal with every other constituency. Or what are you saying? I don't get it. So
you reduce 275, but then you need variables of AI to help them in the few now when you're not to do their work effectively. They make out here.
They need AI to do their work effectively. I disagree.
Hey,
when was AI introduced into the world system?
Who cares? It works now.
No, Kofi. You see, that's why I'm saying that.
Captain.
Any pebiana or rely too much on technology, biano, mentally or myopic.
That's not true.
That's correct.
That's not true.
Look, AI introduction by Riasi in 50 years.
Okay.
Okay. But America developed before that the introduction of that. No, Kofi, hold on. It's the introduction of AI. It's not a guarantee that Africa and the undeveloped spaces in the world could or can be developed with AI.
I'm not saying that.
So what we need to do now, what we need to do now, the 7 main big economies in the world, China, Malaysia, Singapore, add Germany, take out America for some, purposes of this discussion. Take out America, take out UK, bring Vietnam to it to make it 5, just 5. And look at the rate at which they developed from the 1980s onwards. Yes, there was no AI. AI can aid.
Of course, that's the point.
But they were able to make things better without AI.
Okay.
So even AI is developed by a human brain.
That's true.
So AI cannot work in isolation.
Nobody said so.
So therefore, if we put our hopes and everything on modern day technology, we'll be very myopic.
Captain.
Because here, as it stands today, there's no electricity proper. Even the teacher over there don't have a laptop. The people there do not have even access to television.
Okay, why?
So, like you were telling Mahama, forget about the AI. Get the infrastructure for all this.
Sir?
Then we can introduce it.
Yeah, but Namemeka said there are places where Honoma, evidence to say with AI, it will make the job easier and better and less expensive. Go one year walk say electricity near the Bisa who say I don't need Wusikanon, so you need electricity. I don't know MPP NDC by no, hold up. The MMA can say I didn't AI, your friend saying Mahamane NDC, LA fiber optic cable in even places where women need toilet. Does that make sense to you?
On that score, I disagree with you.
No.
You are part of the people who are thinking that Obi and Kwayashi will vote to me in the airport.
Oh, radius.
Anna, what are you saying?
No. Why would you lay a fiber optic cable in a place where they don't have food, they don't have toilets?
No, Kofi, you've lived in the United States for a very long time. When America developed Mississippi, for more than 12 million people, they had only 13,000 people at that space. Why? You develop a space for 12 million people for 13,000 people. Why? Are we therefore saying that? When you go to Canada, Prince Edward Islands, the Ontario Islands, and then when you move to Quebec and Saskatchewan and all those areas, they have roads in the forest.
Of course.
That future people will go and live there.
Absolutely.
Are you therefore saying that was?
No, but Masa.
But what?
The toilets are basic. Baby, any pabeda are basic. There is no economy in this world that one year route. First of all, you got to understand ansana community be a building no sa connectivity ye lay wo ho so to say inti America ye be build the community be a baby na North America they build roads and infrastructure. You go and build Saglame, you don't have the friends saying toilets, you don't have electricity, you don't have
that's not correct. Have you visited Saglame?
Oh, underground sewer system, no, yeah, incomplete. They didn't even have a budget for it.
No, Kofi, please. We did the story. We went underground. We took videos and pictures and we brought. You see, sometimes, I am not young, baby, I I'm a bit circumspect handling and dealing with. Whoever told you electricity in New York?
Captain Smart, where is the budget for electricity near underground cables from Koyeno? Do you have a budget for it?
No. Who can you tell me, sir, who is dying? Why electrical fittings? Now some for electricity go. What's the who is dying?
And I may say,
why internet connectivity cables, any sockets and plugs? Now, yesterday.
It doesn't mean so more.
They see and say, Nipana or Betwa, so no, I am for
Captain.
Because as you sit here, say, what's that here, Juma? Na me ba Betwaso. Na dia wo ye enemy tugua, me ye nipa be.
Of course, but why the critics are?
Kofi, not there.
You see, listen, anyway, but listen, we media minyaya nanke ye base our discussion we me know ye better ha na ye because me there me minim uko budget parliament Saglame never got a budget for the underground sewer any water systems and they only got the $200 million budget and I say yemfanye building the concrete jungle upwards. They didn't get the budget for the underground. Parliamentarian ni oye NDC
no Kofi enti na fan say me ma obi a oti in tiase in simple terms when you now flash was Saglame go quota no so e go kogu
Captain
no I'm asking you a question na ke be kwa kogu hin
wako flash ayi wo hodo da
oh Kofi na be kwa kogu hin
me say they made the tunnels but it's not connected
no enti na ke be kwa kogu hin.
You have to ask them.
Who asked who? You have been there. You were telling us.
Did
you go underground?
Me say.
Did you go there?
There is no water.
No, did you go there?
You don't have to go there. Now water will.
No, Kofi, you see, this is the problem. Connectivity of water from the nearby town. How big deal is this?
Captain Pa, no,
Kofi, Saglame issue there.
How big deal?
What
me say? First of all, 200 million no.
And why exonerating Papa near friends say?
Why? Akwano who here about 6 months ago now.
No. NDC MP of the Court. They all can why exonerating no.
How?
Call us louder.
Now 200 million, what would you see 5,000 units no? What would you see?
Yeah.
Woman fancy intimate argument here me say. They got the 200 million.
Sewage.
And I may make us
any electricity.
Water, sewer, electricity tunnels. Next, what we underground. What man ye?
Could you work underground?
Oh, me, I don't need.
Mr. Producer, for videos, have you been there? We went there. We went underground.
Now me say, where did they get the money from?
Why are you changing the discussion? We went underground. We went underground.
One for many video.
Yeah. So, Kofi, that's what I'm saying. That go there, go underground.
Oh, every day, Captain. But listen.
So we can't follow the issue, get to the bottom, and be convinced.
And I may say,
what was Saglame?
Oh, my Saglame.
What was underground?
And I may say, me underground, me call the same underground. Underground, you call it phone cables.
Oh, Kofi. Sam, no.
Now, baby, I'm going.
Oh, Kofi.
What's your hockey ticket?
Kofi.
Me say
Yanka AI.
Oh, me Captain. Anyway, all I need now is the budget for the sewer systems underground. I want to see it because there was no one.
Captain, what I remember is some topic in the craft for cancer for fraud. I think that good governance na and it does appear say good governance in this country I can be choking under the weight of some comedy and corruption and the average and the ordinary Ghanaian share the way out. Now they account about the youth population in our part of the world. Africa is here and something we can be proud of. So the OBA said that African dream, that Ghanaian dream, be feasible. Ghana for Ghana shema in America, somebody can sit there and dream to become whoever he want to become, and there is enough incentive opportunities for that person to leverage to become whoever the person want to become. Those incentives and opportunities, so governance and then as a foreign, the say you may put two right thinking people at the right position. People with vision, people with ideas. As I name a bit me streamline, I'm at that particular thing about possible. But you see, in politics, comparative analysis is useful. It's good. You can sit here and sometimes look at America, look at other places, but sometimes the contexts are quite different. So when you are making such comparisons, now we look at where we are as Ghana. We are in a developed country. We are developing. So there are certain things that might work other places and it's not working here. So sometimes you look at them and then you contextualize what is happening elsewhere. How you started from the scratch in making sure say Niamana you're building will feed into the needs of our people here, because what people of America need might be different from what we need here. But governance is a big template. How far you contextualize it, you look at the needs of your people, you tailor your plans towards that particular needs. Serve your constituents, and that is exactly what Ghanaians are looking out for. So over here quite recently, that Dr. Bawumia addressed your my say Oba be national service. Then I asked myself, say, and somebody justification say in America they don't do national service. Me say the context are totally different. If you go to your universities, I think people were out there making those things. And I am telling you,
they do community service in America. I mean, what?
Captain, anyway. It's a fact, sir. Over your universities, so,
we try national service.
Such comparisons.
Why?
Captain. And you see, over the years, we've been complaining, said there is a huge gap. There is a mismatch between what is happening in academia and in the industrial world. So Ghana and University, what time did you go to VRI? He doesn't know anything. So that huge gap, because we are unable to bridge it, and we are introducing this national service, grounds, I had to prepare students, so I take a step into the industrial world. And it's the purpose I added that particular national service in the buy. So without anything, not in the name of politics, until my baby year free, just thinking about without considering the fact that that huge gap still exists. That means we are just talking for politics' sake. We think the people in the country are gullible. When we stand on the political platform and we heap everything on them, they will accept. But the fundamental challenge is that there is a huge gap. If you go to America, some of the universities like Harvard, other way, students in your school, but firms and other, you are aware, our organizations set up for them. Because they know that when they come, they will fit in. But our situation is a bit different. You can't employ somebody from University of Ghana, maybe communication, whatever, to come and sit on this platform and host. He can't. So those platforms are meant to prepare people. So these are some of the things that we need. But you come and say you are driver's mate. Now who cares if you are Bobo, you are driver or whatever? The fact is we are vice president. You are not just a pushover. You have a role. We need to do some of these things. But Captain, the most important, your tab no. When you be far home. Because we say you buy a casa, we can't.
There be a dinner home say Tuesdays no crane be earlier than this time.
Yeah, because
the time na I just time me now.
You talk them the AI. Talk them.
Anyway, Captain, my thing is, say you be rebuilding Ghana. We don't necessarily have to start from scratch like my brother alluded to. So and then you see car manufacturing company.
That's right.
You can call back to the technology that was used in the 30s, the 40s, or the 50s to say we are starting from scratch. There be and then Dubai almost sit down with 3D printers. So they can build a house, 3-bedroom house in 2 days, 48 hours. And then if any meaningful government comes to Ghana and we want to solve our housing deficits, I won't say you could see block and mortar. That would be a waste of resources and it will waste too much time. We will adopt technology. As I said, once you have the money, the technology is available. We can build a 3-bedroom house in 2 days, 48 hours.
And no.
I'm saying that's what the standard is. Yes. That is where we are looking.
Even with the hydroform,
yeah,
you can build a whole 2-story in 3 months.
But when I'm talking about concrete.
I know.
Concrete house. 48 hours. The 3D printer can actually print down a whole house. The only thing nipa beye is the doors, the windows, any roof nipa and nipa beye. But the whole building, the printer and print in 48 hours. You basically 3-bedroom apartment. Yeah, no, I'm saying, but Captain, that's where the human effort comes. Yeah. Oh, but Captain, I wish you could show the video.
No, I know.
And see, I'm saying, so the future belongs to the youth of Ghana. We can only realize that future if we come together and form that grouping as a national bloc. Because a very long time, so every other person, every other player in the national economy of Ghana, they've grouped themselves. The only people who have not come together as one solid group are young youth. But I have said, so over 60% of the voter population are youth. And any decision that demographic decides to make, with the numbers alone, we can make it happen. If the youth of Ghana decides, say, Captain, and we want A to become president, the 60% automatically makes that person the president.
All right. Your time na ni fire, but a fire then can the fire now can be my AI or better show the show. But I say that here, who about that for attitude to go out to us.